continue today with our class, others, people's money. And this session and all of them that we're going to learn today, Beezrat Hashem, should be dedicated to Refuah Shlema, our dear Rabbi Yaron Shlita. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also to Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariel Ora Bas Anna, David Shlomo Ben Sandra, Mimra Sirachel Bas Brindel, and quick release of our dear friend Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina. And also Tzlacha Rabba to Giveres Chana Bas Avraham Avinu and the whole family. Beezrat Hashem. All right. So we continue today with Halachos of other people's money, and we are on a topic, chapter 2. I think it's chapter 2. So topic is what is tolin. So meaning do not delay the payment. And we cover last time. We cover 6 Torah commandments. Right? Then we cover who must be paid on time. So not everybody, right? We went all of this situation when the person is not expected to be paid on that time, etc. And now we're up to section 3 and subsection 3, and our topic is how must payment be made. Okay. And A, subsection A, payment in full. The wages, fees, and rentals must be paid in full when due. Partial payment does not eliminate the obligation of tolin or any unpaid balance. So before we continue, so again, wages, fees, and rentals must be paid in full. So meaning, if you own such as rent, of course, if a person is unable to pay, as we said last time, a person simply does not have money. So and for whatever reason, the reason that not because they went into this agreement knowing they're not going to have money, but because of the other reason. For example, if a person borrows money, and he or she have no idea how they're going to pay back, so they consider to be like they steal money, right? So you're not allowed. So here we're talking about the case when a person, for example, was not paid the full amount, right? Something is going on with the business, I don't know, something. Business is down, right, of his boss, and the boss paid him like a delay for 2 months. So now a person does not have a full amount to pay for their rent, right? So that's a different story. So, but otherwise, if a person has money, he must or she must pay it in full. Very important. So partial payment does not eliminate the obligation of tolin, right? So meaning, it's a delay in payment. Again, there are exceptions, but technically that's what it is. Or on any unpaid balance, right? So on any unpaid balance, so it's a delay in payment. And there is a commentary before we continue. If the amount due is in dispute, and the employer and the worker are planning to go to Din Torah, the employer must pay whatever amount of the wages is not in dispute. For example, homeowner contracted a painter at the price of $900. When the job was done, the painter claims that the work was more extensive than anticipated and demanded $1,400. The employer should pay him $900 before sunset. So all of these things, it just occurred to me a few days ago. Well, after a few days ago, I've been thinking what we learned last time, and it happened. It's actually literally happened to me. When we had my wedding, we paid the caterer, gave him cash, whatever we paid, everything is good. Gave tips to the waiters, everything is good. And then he calls me and said, "Look, I apologize, but you owe me such and such amount." I said, "For what?" "I think I pay you, whatever you told me I pay you. You said, right, I paid, I gave them tips." No, he said, no, but I apologize, I did not include the waiters. And it was a substantial amount, basically. I don't know how many waiters there were, but basically. So and then I thought, I mean, he looks it's as a friend of our friends, not friend, but acquaintance of our friends. Okay, bro. But then I realized that's what they do. That's what caterers do. You understand? That's one of their tricks. Like when they come and say, look, it's not exactly this amount, but look, we underestimated and this and that. It was not substantial amount back then. I mean, but still, it's not honest. So he knew in advance that how to calculate the food food and waiters are separate, and he did not. It sounds very very peculiar, right? So and then we learn in this book that's one of these people. Very very sad. I mean, sad. Like we paid them, of course, no problem. But that's the thing. Okay. Okay, so continue. For example, the homeowner contracted the painter at the price of $900. So when it's all over, he said it's actually 14. The employer should pay him $900 before the sunset. Okay. So again, if there is a dispute, so is it a balance? Yeah, it is a possible balance. So and they have to go to the beis. So employer has to pay for whatever is not in dispute. So in this case, they say the job is $900, and this guy said $1,400. Right, big jump, right? Big jump, right? So the employer has to pay whatever they agreed for, right? And the rest they have to go to the beis and see what beis says. Okay. But you see, sometimes these people, these contractors, these workers, it's I mean, many of them low life. Just so you know, because they play on people's like emotions, stuff like that. So they say. Right, look, I apologize. So like in the middle of the job, they first start breaking everything. So you're amazed. Wow, I'm going to have everything new, and say, oh, this wire we have to change. Well, I have to change it. Oh, it's not according to the code. It's according to the code of the city, 1953. But now they banned it. So if I'm going to leave this wire, I'm going to lose my license. All these things, right? And people, maybe it's true, maybe not true. Maybe it's true, maybe not. Oh, I mean, it's an old wire, so maybe if you want to have a fire, yeah, no problem. But I would advise you, since you're doing the renovation, say, okay, no problem. So how much is the wire? Yeah, I have to run it to the circuit breaker, and basically it's another $2,000 or something. You understand? So, and some people would agree, or he would say like, break everything. So now you thought that in 2 weeks you're going to move in, because that's what they say. They said that the whole renovation is going to take us 10 days because I'm going to bring five people. Guess what? They're only 3 people, and they're not working every day, and they demolish everything, and that's the situation. Yeah. So that's. It's a very common thing. So I mean, many of them very low life. So that was planned from the beginning, from day one. Okay. From a day one. Okay. So continue. Right. So, okay. So the next one. So A was paying in full, and B cash. Generally, work depends on the wages for food and other immediate living expenses. Therefore, wages must be paid with cash, which can immediately be spent for the livelihood needs. Okay. So, especially this poor people, right? Especially poor people, or even this contractor. So we have to understand this. Most of the contractors, they don't work every day. Most of them. Sometimes they're busy, sometimes I give you the example. We needed to change some tiles on our porch, and people came and they gave such a crazy numbers. I mean, we cannot afford, we don't need this, basically. That was too much. And then I said, okay, let me think about it. Probably it's too much. I tell them like not to waste their time in their face. Look, thank you very much. We pass, right? So I'm sure that that's what it's worth, right? But we pass it, and they start calling me like every day because they start like giving us discount up to 50% even, right? Of course, we found somebody else, but because they do not work every day, so many of them press for money, for cash. Understand? So for these people, we have to pay cash. So if they did a job for us, we have to pay cash, or something like today. Today we can take advantage of Venmo, right? Venmo or some other like money transfer. So that's what we paid somebody, right? So of course the contract, this and that, it's official from bank to bank, and does not cost us money. And it like there's official receipt to official company name, whatever they did for us. Very interesting, right? So it is a cash, so it's like direct deposit to their bank account. Continue. C. Check in lieu of cash. In practice, such in a place such as Eretz Israel, where the worker can easily change a check for cash, and where shopkeepers will regularly take third-party checks in lieu of cash, in such a places, paying him with check is as good as a paying by cash. Thus, even if the employer pays him in the middle of the night, when the banks are closed, he avoids the prohibition of tolin and also get mitzvah of paying on time. In such a places as U.S., where the worker must either deposit the check or cash it in a bank, there is in the most localities he cannot easily use his payroll check to pay for the purchases, nor he can cash it privately. In such a place, a check is not considered cash. However, if the accepted practice is to pay for such a wages or services by check, then there is no tolin, because it is the workers agreed from the onset to accept payment by check. Note: with regard to the mitzvah of paying the worker on time, if the worker receives his check when the banks are open, and it is possible for him to cash his check before tolin deadline, the employer, in addition to not transgressing tolin, will also fulfill the positive mitzvah of paying on time. If it is not possible for the worker to cash his check before the deadline, the employer will not get mitzvah. So let's see. It's from the beginning. Try to understand. All right. So from the beginning, check in lieu of cash. In places such as Eretz Israel, where the worker can easily exchange a check for cash, where the storekeepers will regularly take the third-party checks in lieu of cash, right? In such a place, paying by check is good as paying by cash. I'm not sure how does it work there. I mean, technically, if you think about it, you can print your own checks if you want to, right? There's you buy software, and you pay your own checks and you write whatever you want on them. I'm not sure how they check in these checks. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but checks a piece of paper. Maybe it's going to work. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe the name is correct name. Maybe not. The name is not correct name. But technically, even in the States, you can. I use it. Maybe I use it once in my lifetime, only once. But I heard from other people, and somebody offered me to pay for something many years ago, and the person has 7 checks from different people, not even on his name, and on the back he showed me. I said, please, I don't it was too much. Like there were three signatures, so meaning somebody gave somebody a check, another person sign that he assigned to somebody else, another to somebody else. So 3. I'm not sure how many signatures I have. I have no idea, but it was or 2 or 3 signatures. It was too much for me. I said, look, I understand, but I don't want it. Right? I'll wait until you have normal money for me. Or I mean, I think a person give me his personal check. It was better than somebody as a third party. Somebody pay him, and now he wants to give me. So, but in Israel, looks like it is accepted. I mean, also in the States, it's also accepted. But for me, like, so unless you know the person and it's not a scam, and basically it's not a major amount. So that's right. That's scary. Okay. Right. So, but in Eretz Israel, they say since all of the shopkeepers would accept this, like, I'm not sure if it's job check or right, or like personal checks, right? So then it is good as cash. So meaning you can go to the store and they say your balance is 200 shekels, and you say, oh, I have a check for 170, and here's 30 shekels. Okay, there's no problem. If they accept, no problem. Right. So then in this case, even if the employer pays in the middle of the night, when the banks are closed, he avoids the prohibition of tolin. So meaning, right, so he can take this check and I don't know, let's say there is a store 24 hours, or like even like he can go, a store is open 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. He can buy his groceries or pay whatever he needs for. Okay, so then there is no problem. So, and then a person is getting the mitzvah of paying on time. So last time we said there is 6 mitzvahs that connect to this paying on time. Positive is paying on time, and negative not to delay, right? And there is several negatives. So now a person did not get the negative mitzvah, which is good, right? Did not transgress the prohibition and got the positive mitzvah, paying on time, which is also good. And there is a comment here. If the employer believes that the worker does not trust him to pay by check, but is willing to take his check only because it gives him more security in collecting his money, he may not pay by check. In this case, the check is not considered cash. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe like some random I don't know, contractor or something, like he picked him on the street or something, and now he gives him checks, meaning this worker does not trust him. Right. So again, from the beginning, if the employer believes that the worker does not trust him, right, and he pays by check, so meaning right, he would prefer cash. Right, so and the only reason he take checks, right, because it gives him more security in collecting the money. So meaning at least he has some claim on his payment, right, for the job. He may not pay. May not be paid by check. Okay, so meaning give him cash. But today, as he's going to say in the next paragraph, in the U.S. and almost nobody pay by cash. I mean, some people who hires illegal workers and right, in the Jewish neighborhood, especially Hasidic neighborhood, right, they're always like all of the illegals stay like in a specific place, and they wait for people to pick them up, right, to give them jobs. They 1 hour, 2 hours, they have to bring, I don't know, some heavy stuff from a basement to the 3rd floor or something. Build some people with some of them with skills. They can paint, like he does not need for the whole for the whole week, or even for 2 days, 3 days, for moving, all these things, right? So right, I'm not sure what's going on now, right? If they still are there, but a long time ago I see like they and they see you in the car, and they suspect it's poor people, or expect that maybe you're going to give them jobs, right? And you stop on intersection or sidewalk, or like you just pull over. They start running next to you, like right next to you, and say if you have any jobs, like, and they go all around your car. So it's a little dangerous. People are very, very desperate. Right. But in the Jewish neighborhood, actually, yeah, they have a very good relationship. The Jews have a lot of job. They almost always pay cash. I mean, these people don't have like banks accounts, like even, right. So they pay cash. Right. So continue. In a place such as US, where the worker must either deposit his check or cash in a bank, right? So and when you deposit in a cash in like a check in a bank, so it's going to take you time, especially if it's a different bank, and this bank don't have such a close connection. So somebody gave me a check a long time ago, and I got used to that. It would take, I don't know, a day, 2 days, 3 days, like 2 days in the era of computers. So it took 9 days for the check to be cleared. 9 days. So I almost thought that the person canceled. There's some scam is going on, but no, that's how it took, how long it took. Okay, so meaning if you give them a check, and it's very good. Some if they already know the person, if you already like depositing checks from your job or somebody paying you for some services, whatever you get in payment, so they give you some sort of some in advance. For example, you would deposit $1,000, like on check for $1,000, and they say you have now you have out of this 1,350 is available to use right now. Okay, but others no, not until they going to cash it. Okay, so meaning right. So meaning that when you give them a check, it's not like a cash. Okay. So again. So let me just start from the beginning. In a place such as US, where a worker must either deposit his check or cash in a bank. So cash maybe you don't need to deposit, you can use it as it is. There is, in the most localities, he cannot easily use a payroll check to pay for purchases, nor he cash it privately. I mean, people like in a store, they going to only accept, the way I understand, only the personal checks. Right, and some people, you see, all the old elderly people would take this checkbook and they write a check to the store, right? Right, and as olden days, yeah, there is no problem. But job like payroll check, I'm not sure. He's saying most of them would not take. Okay, in such a place, a check is not considered cash, meaning that it's going to take you a very long time to cash it. It's not so simple. However, if the accepted practice is to pay for such wages or sources by check, there is no tolin. So you go to work, nobody is going to give you cash at your work, right? They're going to give you direct deposit or just give you a check and you do whatever you want to with the check. Okay, because it is as if the worker agreed from outset accepted payment as a check. So meaning if it's a normal business of the place, of the country, that like in the United States, everybody is getting paid by check, right? And somebody like prefer me said should we pay you by cash? So I don't need cash. Like why should I keep the cash in my house and carry cash and write check? If you give me check, it would be good, right? I mean, right, it's like you don't have to go to a person, you don't have to ask the person, they just deposit in your Venmo or something, and that's it, you have it. Or you pay them, same. Okay, so cash, he said, maybe I did not get, right? It eliminates many issues, right? When you pay somebody by check or you do electronic payment, right? You have all of the receipts, so they cannot say I did not get it, right? Because you see the receipts to the bank. Even in countries like America, there are still some services where the provider will generally not take checks. For example, taxi cab driver, barber. Okay. This type of the worker must be paid in cash unless he specifically agrees to accept checks. Okay. No problem. So of course there are exceptions. Okay, so continue. Note, with regard to the mitzvah of paying the worker on time, if the worker received the check when the banks are open, and it is possible for him to cash his check before the tolin deadline, the employer, in addition to not transgressing tolin, will also fulfill the mitzvah paying on time. So it's very interesting. So as we said, those are two separate mitzvah. Not to delay payment, with negative mitzvah, and positive mitzvah to pay on time. So meaning if a person is going to go to bank and he is going to deposit, for example, you give him in the morning, and he would be able to deposit this check, and it's check would be cleared. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he said. Maybe in the same bank, if you like you're the same bank, the same even branch, so most likely it's going to work. But otherwise, two different banks. If you, as I said, first time it took 9 days, and then sometimes later I got the check from that same person. For what we did for him, so he did I don't know how, maybe 4 days, but still not 9 days, not 9 days, but still not the same day, for sure not. If it is not possible for the worker to cash the check before the deadline, the employer will not get the mitzvah. Okay, so he did not, or she did not transgress anything, right? But because a person did not was not paid until the sunset or until the sunrise, right? Depends what was the shift, right? So they did not get the positive mitzvah. But okay, what can you do? Okay, so next one. Post-dated check, credit card, merchandise. All right. So it's subsection D. Payment which is post-dated check, credit card, or with merchandise is not considered valid payment with regard to tolin. If the worker specifically consents to accept this form of payment in lieu of cash, the employer will not be subject to tolin. However, by paying with a credit card or post-dated checks, etc., he will lose the opportunity to fulfill the mitzvah of paying on time. Okay, so this paying on time, as we understand, if direct deposit would be the best. Right, if you pay VEM or other services. And what Zelle? The Zelle is another one, right? So meaning for sure, like in instantaneous, they're going to get. So that's the best. Or the direct deposit, right? What other direct deposit? Whatever is it, right? Whatever direct deposit, it would be like instantaneous. You get the mitzvah. But otherwise, like checks, not going to work. So again, post-dated checks. So post-dated check, meaning you give him now, right? But like it says from September 1st, right? So you give him like 1 week before, so he can deposit on September 1st. Okay. Credit card. We're going to see what's the problem with credit card, because this person is being paid. Right, so if we're paying for his credit card for whatever job he did for us, for example, some people they take a credit card. A doctor, right? Some doctors they don't take your insurance, right? It's good doctor. You want to visit him, you want consultation, so you would pay with a credit card, right? But he would get payment the way I understand right away. I think maybe I'm mistaken, but that's what I think. Okay. Or with merchandise. So again, payment with a post. 1 second, something I missed. No, did not miss. Sorry. Payment with the post-dated checks. So meaning you give like one week in advance, 1 month in advance. A credit card, okay, or with merchandise, is not considered valid payment with regard to tolin. So it's not like you pay this person. So what does it mean? So tolin, like a delay in payment. So I can comment to it. According to some poskim, there is no tolin if the worker is given collateral for the wages that are due. Hagaon Harav Moshe finds, and that's all. And other poskim rule that getting collateral is not tantamount to getting cash. Very interesting. The employer must actually pay cash, even if doing so at that time involves significant amount of trouble. However, if one does not have cash available when the payment is due, then there is no other alternative. It is better to give the worker collateral than to give him nothing. Okay, so let's try to understand this commentary. So meaning the credit card, maybe it's not, maybe it takes time. I'm not sure what does it mean. Okay. Or merchandise. Okay. Or a credit card. Or a post-dated check. So meaning in a sense, you pay them, but they did not get the things yet. The way I understand. The money yet. So again, according to some poskim, there is no tolin if the worker is given collateral for the wages due, right? So meaning there is no tolin that there is no tolin. So meaning that there is no, in a sense, there is no problem. I mean, he got something. So even though it's not cash, right? But he got something, like collateral. Hagon Harav Moshe finds that's another poskim rule. Getting collateral is not tantamount to getting cash. So according to some poskim, yes, some poskim not. It's not cash. I mean, okay. The employer must actually pay cash, even if doing so at the time involves significant amount of trouble. So today, as we said, direct deposit is that's what it is, right? Right. However, if one does not have cash available when paying is due, there is no other alternative. It's better to give a worker collateral than to give him nothing. So this collateral is going to make him like to have a peace of mind. The way I understand, so meaning that he's getting money. The money is on the way. Okay. So post-dated check, maybe the way he's trying to use this post-dated check. So meaning a person has to be paid on the first, right? On the 30th of the month, and you posted the check, post-dated the check on the 30th of the month. So you gave him right on even on the 30th, right? I mean a few days in advance, let's say. Right, so meaning he can deposit only on the 30th, but the money would be available later. So, but it's still better than nothing. So it's collateral. You give him collateral that you're going to pay, if I understand correctly. So continue. If the worker specifically consents to accept this form of payment in lieu of cash, the employer will not be subject to tolin. So I think in most of the cases, unless it is explicitly agreed otherwise, it's understandable that the employer is going to pay in a way that is like more like common, whatever they agree with, whatever is like accepted in society. Okay. However, by paying with a credit card or post-dated check, etc., he will lose the opportunity fulfilling the positive mitzvos of paying on time. Okay. So maybe because the credit card pays and not he's paying. So this person, the employer, he is not paying at this point. So he's going to pay when the credit card bill is due. Let's say monthly cycle, I don't know, like 28 days, 29 days, whatever is it, bank cycle. So you're going to pay then. So did you pay the worker? No, you did not pay. A credit card paid for you, right? And then you're going to pay later. So meaning there is no tolin, meaning that person got money on time from the credit card, but you did not pay, right? So meaning because credit card paid. Okay. So you did not get positive mitzvah. So next one is payment in advance. If the employer pays in advance, for example, pays the barber prior to getting his haircut, his babysitter as soon as she arrives, the cab driver before reaching their destination, there is no tolin because the worker agreed to that form of payment. I'm not sure why would somebody think otherwise. According to many poskim, by paying before the wages are due, the employer will lose the opportunity to fulfill the positive mitzvah. Unbelievable. Paying on time. Unbelievable. However, the employer can get the mitzvah if he stipulates at the time he gives the money that he is not conveying the money to the worker until such a time as it is due. I think if you start explaining these people, it's in my mind like that it's actually like that's what you mean. So I'm giving you money, but it's not going to be money, your money, but it's going only after you, like, let's say this cab are only after we arrived at the place. So I said, okay, so would he understand? Most likely not. Most likely not. So right. So let's see. Okay, so payment in advance. So again, from the beginning, and we try to understand it. If the employer pays in advance, so meaning that our mitzvah is a positive mitzvah, it's to pay on time. So if a person pays in advance, it's not on time, right? It's before time. So before time, it's and on time, it's two different things. So on time, as soon as job is done, to pay the worker. But here the job did not start yet, or it start but did not finish. So meaning there is no, the time for payment did not arrive. So I mean, sounds a little confusing, but halachically, like from halachic standpoint, it makes sense. Okay, so from the beginning, if the employer pays in advance, he pays the barber prior to getting his haircut, or babysitter as soon as she arrives, right? So meaning what, person goes away and they said, you know what, thank you very much for coming, I have to go now. All right, here's the money for you, so please stay until 9 p.m. At night you can leave. I know you have to go to wherever you have to go. 9:45, the baby's going to be asleep. I'm going to come 9:30, 9:45. You don't have to wait for me. That's it. So meaning that there is no problem. Right, meaning that a person is going to pay in advance, not after the job is done, but in advance. Okay. His cab driver before reaching the destination. It's also possible what? For example, a woman needs to get to the hospital because she's giving birth on Shabbos. Guess what? She called the taxi. Taxi comes. And she said, Mr. Muhammad, come. Right? Here's an envelope for you. Please take it. Right? He takes. Okay, let's go. Please take this back. We're going to the hospital. He helps, and now he's prepaid. Okay, no problem. Right. There is no tolin because the worker agrees to this form of payment. So meaning there is no tolin, meaning that there is no delay of the payment because worker agreed. I mean, I think it's the most preferable, right? Right. To get for them to get in the. I give you an example. I was shocked when in what is it? Dry cleaners that I use. So I went to drop off something. And there is a sign, like big sign in the red letters. So nothing. So there is no dry cleaning service unless you prepay. So it looks like the way I understand, there were like accidents, like incident, like with people they did not want to pay for whatever reason. Right, like big, huge red letters. If you wanted to something like dry cleaners, you have to pay. I always pay in advance. And this lady, like she asked me quietly, the one who takes, there is like other people there, like a laundry, and she said, would you like to pay now or after you pick up? So I look at this sign, I think it's for everybody. I said, no, I can pay now, there is no problem. But basically, it's very interesting. So meaning, I understood it's a compliment that you Jew, you can pay later, I have no problem with you. But with other people, I do have a problem. So which is like and that's why she spoke quietly. Like first, I do not understand what's going on. Right? Very interesting. So meaning the other people they don't trust, so they prefer to be paid before the job is done. So that's what we're talking about. According to many poskim, by paying before the wages are due, the employer will lose the opportunity to fulfill the positive mitzvah paying on time. So meaning, right, as we explained before, so what is on time? When job is done, so that's when you're paying on time. So if before, it's not on time. Okay. However, if the employer will get the mitzvah, if he stipulates at that time he gives the money, that he is not conveying the money to the worker until such a time is due. So meaning if he's going to explain, I'm going to give you money now, but you're going to become owner of this money only after you complete the job, You can explain to them, but most likely, as I said, they would not understand. I was trying to explain to several people. Somebody asked me to negotiate people or rent to that person, landlord, and basically he like a very gracious person, so he allowed him to live before the contract, right? But he said, okay, but they have to pay whatever the partial months to date, right? So I mean, obvious, right? Okay, so at least being honest. So whatever this guy lived like till 17th, so he has to pay, but he moved in on a 7th or something. So I was explaining to this guy, say, yeah, some people pay from beginning of the month until the end of the month, but your contract starts at 7th, so until the 6th, right, of 6th of that month, you have to pay. And the person could not understand what I want from how to calculate. It was unbelievable, right? And I said I said to that person, look, let's agree to whatever he understands, because some people are like a little low in intellect. I said, look, to that landlord, let's accept whatever he agrees on, because in this person's mind, like he's going to get anti-Semitic. Like he does not understand how. I showed on calculator, look, that's how you calculate how many days. You agree? He said, no, I don't understand. Sorry. Okay, I explained 3 times. I said, look, I think whatever you give is basically good. Okay. So I think. Is it? Let's stop here. Right, 5 minutes break, and we continue with other topics. 5 minutes.